Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts back once again with another video for you guys. Today guys, I'm doing something a little bit different on the channel today. I'm doing a breakdown discussion type video for the Thor Love and Thunder official teaser, of course, that dropped earlier today. Of course, my reaction is up on the channel right now. I'm going to try my best to not play the trailer too much in terms of the audio and everything because my reaction got claimed for the Sweet Child of Mine song playing, which is really unfortunate. It really is stupid in my opinion, but it is what it is. Copyright is a bitch and it is an issue. But regardless, I want to go through this trailer and talk about some individual things I think it's pretty interesting. I'm not going to talk about every single detail or whatever. There's plenty of breakdown videos out there where people actually dove into every single detail, but I want to go through this and discuss some of the things I think is pretty interesting from the teaser and all that. So let's start with the beginning here, which I think is pretty interesting, and I think it pretty much might set the stage for something people are already theorizing in terms of what's going to happen in this movie. So let's play it here a little bit. So young Thor, a little bit older, and then there he fully is there. And I think that kind of looks like Avengers 1 suit. I'm not really sure. But we open with this. Young Thor, a little bit older, and now Chris Hemsworth. I think this is just, it's an interesting way to show the progression of the character in terms of, you know, him aging over time. But people are starting to think, like, with this being the opening, and then what we see, you know, kind of unfold throughout the trailer in terms of Thor wanting to basically not be a hero anymore, and he's trying to find himself. This might be implying this might be Thor's final appearance in the MCU. I don't know if that's the case, but I wouldn't be surprised if this happens. And from this point, we kind of see more of a progression in terms of him having some voiceover and discussing, you know, kind of things he's been going through. And we see the hammer there, and this is a really cool shot. Looks like Lion King a little bit. And then people are also pointing out too about how something that Loki said to Thor about something involving the sun, something in, I'm not sure the exact phrasing of it, but basically implying the next time, you know, he'll see him or something is in the sun. I'm not really sure what the wording was, but it's interesting how there's some people are finding the parallels in terms of past conversations that Thor's had and how it relates to the trailer here. Now, of course, I think it's the strongest or whatever stronger Avenger, but he's training. Of course, it's after the events of Endgame, so he's training, and then we see he's definitely lost the weight, and there is our first look at some of the Guardians. Now, we get a better shot a little bit later, but throughout the trailer, we get to see a lot of Guardians in the trailer. That doesn't necessarily mean that the Guardians are going to have a huge role in this movie. The more I thought about it after seeing the trailer, and I went back and watched a couple times, I think what they're trying to imply is that they have a significant role in terms of the team as a whole, in terms of Guardians, because of course we end Endgame with Thor riding off with the Guardians. But I don't think this means that the Guardians of the Galaxy are going to have a huge a huge part in terms of a lot of screen time. I think they'll have a significant part. Does not mean a huge part in the trailer, or in the film trailer, sorry. So we have a shot here, and this is interesting because, see, we get to see different looks of Thor. So, see, we have this new look here. Let me go back just a smidge more. Taking off the coat. Yeah. So we've seen this look from on-set photos, but then we see this shot here where he looks more traditional Thor, and there's the Guardians here. So, how much time has passed throughout these clips? I'm curious about that because it seemed maybe some time has significantly passed here. And then here's him with Korg, and look at those pants on Korg. Look at those pants on Korg. Like, so stylish and unique. And yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. Thor is definitely going through a changer, and this kind of happened in a sense with Thor Ragnarok, where that film, of course, directed by Taika Waititi as well as this film, who also voices Korg, where Thor Ragnarok went through a little bit of a shift in terms of the Thor character, in terms of his look, of course, cutting his hair, the tone of that movie, and just overall changing a lot of who we think of as. I mean, Thor was slowly changing over time, but they really took it a step, you know, in a new direction in Ragnarok. And now with Taika Waititi coming back doing Thor: Love and Thunder, the implication was there's going to be more of a shift here. But it looks like definitely we're going through more of a shift here. Now, this is an interesting shot here. I'm not really sure what's going on here. Yeah. Now, I want to know what all this is. I think this is actually going to tie into a shot of Zeus that we see in a little bit from the trailer. I'm not sure where this place is. I mean, it's visually very awesome. It kind of makes me think of Doctor Strange in terms of like, the Mirrorverse, whatever, like things are kind of multiplied and all that shit. That's what makes me think of it. But this might be where the gods are. Maybe, because we've heard that Zeus is played by Russell Crowe, and we do see a shot of Zeus a little bit later in the trailer. Now, here's something interesting, too. He has a woman. He has a woman, not every god. And I believe the next shot is actually we're getting close to the Zeus stuff, actually, but not every god. But he has a woman. Thor has a woman. And I think this is probably early on, or maybe after he disembarks from the Guardians. And then we see Jane, of course, at the end of the trailer. So maybe there's more. There's definitely some setup there. Let's see here. Skimming through. Now, we get to see a shot of his new suit. Now, we've seen this in the marketing in terms of toys and everything. And I think there's been like unofficial, like released images or whatever in terms of his final design. I think it looks pretty cool. And they threw it in. And the timeline, I'm just curious about the timeline of it, because we've seen like different like eras of Thor throughout this trailer in terms of their look, of his look and everything. Let's see here. Now here's Zeus. And see, I think this is tied into that shot earlier of all these floating things here. All these floating islands, areas, I'm not really sure, but I think it ties in. There's Zeus's bolt. And it's interesting that they showed him. Unless this is, I think this is obviously with the lightning bolt and everything, but I wonder what connection this has. And if we're probably going to see other gods. If we're seeing Zeus, we're probably going to be seeing other gods as well. People are pointing out too, this shot here is from the comics. Like, it's pretty shot for shot. I think it's Thor standing on that rock, and then there's that giant beast. And I don't remember I'm assuming that has a name, the creature that is dead there. But I'm curious what the connection is to Korg and Thor, like what's going on here. New Asgard. Welcome to New Asgard. Please drive carefully. So this is interesting for a number of reasons. Number one, in Endgame, it wasn't anything. How much time has passed since Endgame to now, in terms of after the events of Endgame, and now we have all these cruise ships showing up to New Asgard, and it looks like they've definitely built on, or at least it has more population. There's definitely people there, like tourists. So, how much time has passed, and what's going on here? Like, and see, this is like a boardroom thing. Is she like mayor or something, or this is like the new way to look at the New Asgard, where she has to like be all dressed up and has to deal with politics or whatever. I think that's interesting. Now this is a pretty cool shot here. Of course, I think this definitely implies the location they're at, which I'm looking at this shot there. Is that Jane and Thor? Maybe there's Korg. I can't tell. There's two red capes. So that might imply that we're going to see Jane's Thor showing up here as well. Or maybe that's the connection. But also we have Chris Pratt here. He slowly moves into frame. But we see pretty much everybody here. All the Guardians. Except for Gamora. Because I don't think Gamora is not going to be seen in this movie. Maybe there's like a shot of her or something. Because I think they're still searching for her. But we see everybody else. We see all of the other Guardians here in this shot. We see Rocket, Groot, Nebula, Mantis, Drax, and then Thor just slowly in frame. But they're searching for Gamora. So I feel like this might be where they part ways, is this part right here. I think they're going to have a significant role in terms of, because I said this earlier, a significant role to Thor's journey in this movie, but not so much have a lot of screen time. I feel like they're probably being like the first 15, 20 minutes, maybe not even that. But they're really heavily pushing the Guardians. I feel like because they want to show people that after you've seen Endgame, they're heavily involved with, in terms of Thor in the beginning of this movie, and they want to highlight them. So it's really cool to see them highlight that. And then we get to the logo, which of course I think the logo changed over time. I believe it was like another color or something when they showed it off at Comic-Con in 2019. It's crazy how long ago it was. And then this, the cracked Mjolnir, Jane. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love it. I cannot wait to see, first of all, how he actually responds, is because he probably can't believe that she has Mjolnir. how did she become Thor? Like Mighty Thor, how did it happen? And then of course there's people online, talking about the fact that they think it's really stupid or they think this is the worst thing ever. And it's like, guys, read a comic book. That's all I'm going to say. Read a comic book. But for me, it's interesting that they're actually going, because I didn't think they were going to go with the storyline. I thought they would never cover this in the MCU, but I feel like with them doing it, there's a lot of potential down the road for other storylines because they have tackled this. I don't know. We'll see. But in terms of, is this being Thor's send-off, I don't know if that's the case. I would think that they wouldn't be sending Chris Hemsworth away after this movie, but I wouldn't be surprised. It all depends on how they structure this film and if truly Chris Hemsworth wants to continue. I feel like he would want to continue after this movie, but like, you never know. This might be his swan song. This might be where he steps away, at least for a while. Who knows? Because they've been working on this movie for quite a while. They announced, like I said, 2019, they officially announced that they had Natalie Portman walk out and hold the hammer up and everything. And it's been a long time coming, but now we have the film. Or at least it's almost here. At least we have a first official look footage. It's crazy because literally for the last couple of weeks, like, is the movie getting delayed because there's been no footage. But yeah, it's a really good trailer in my opinion. I think it's pretty solid. I definitely am more excited for an official trailer because now that we've seen some footage, now that they've shown Jane as Mighty Thor at the end after the logo for this teaser, they're definitely going to be showing more Jane in the official trailer. They're definitely going to be highlighting and showing them more. It's going to be really fun. It's going to be really interesting to see how Thor responds to it. Like, what? It's going to be fun. So what you guys think of the trailer? I'm curious to know what you thought about it. Are you guys excited for the film? Are you excited for Jane as Mighty Thor? Do you think this is going to be Chris Hemsworth's last film as Thor, or do you think he may even take a break from the MCU in terms of stepping away for a couple of years, then returning down the road for Avengers 5 or whatever that will be? Whatever thoughts you have, guys, please let me know in the comments below. I'm curious to know your thoughts, guys. I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out.